Now we will go over some of the mechanical code changes of interest to project inspectors. There's been some changes in the CMC, the California Mechanical Code, in Chapter 3 related to general requirements. Section 302.1.2, a new table 1701.2 added to Chapter 17, identifying additional material standard which may be used when alternate materials and methods of construction are proposed for use by the design team in accordance with the CMC 302.2. So this is similar to the one that we saw for the plumbing code. There's a new table for reference and alternative materials and methods are used. For 303, appliances and equipment must be installed in accordance with the manufacturer's installation instructions. This is merely just reiterating the importance of following the manufacturer's installation instructions. In Chapter 4, dealing with ventilation air, 401.2 with respect to filters, and this is a specific DSA SS and DSA SS/CC amendment, and this was relocated from 503.3. Filters for the outside and return air must be provided as follows. They need to have a minimum efficiency reporting value, or a MERV rating, of 13. Previously this was 8. Similarly, installed prior to occupancy for the O&M manuals, the owner's and maintenance manuals, must identify replacement with the same type of a MERV 13. Again, that used to be 8. Regarding duct systems, in 603.5, flexible air ducts must comply with the following. And these are the parameters that have now been addressed in this code section. They need to use a minimum required length. The horizontal runs supported at 4-foot maximum intervals. Vertical risers are supported at 6-foot max intervals. The sag between support hangers is 1/2 inch per foot maximum. Supports are rigid, 1.5 inch minimum wide at points of contact. The duct bends are 1 duct diameter bend radius minimum. The screws do not penetrate the inner liner of non-metallic flexible duct. Continuing on with these parameters, the fittings attaching the flexible duct are beaded with 2-inch minimum collar length. The inner liner must be installed within 1 inch minimum on the collar and past the bead. For the outer vapor barrier, it needs to be secured with 2 wraps of approved tape. Make sure that the fire resistance rated assembly or construction is not penetrated by this work, and the temperature of the conveyed air is limited to a maximum of 250 degrees Fahrenheit. And of course, the sealing must be in accordance with section 603.10. There's now a section that addresses duct leakage testing, and the parameters are identified in the section 603.10.1. So the ductwork must be leak tested in accordance with SMACNA HVAC air duct leakage test manual. The sections to be tested are selected by the building owner or designee. There's requirements regarding the minimum percentage of ductwork to be tested. It needs to be at least 10% minimum of the total, but if 10% fails, then that increases to 40% total of the installed ductwork. If 40% fails, then all of it, 100%, must be tested. The permitted leakage amount is identified in a formula that's specified in section 603.10.1. In Chapter 8, dealing with chimneys and vents, there's a new section 802.6. The installation of gas vents must comply with the following. This is where these gas vent requirements are provided. Gas vents must be installed in accordance with the manufacturer's installation instructions. For type BW gas vents, those must have a listed capacity not less than the wall furnace to which they are connected. Gas vents that are installed in masonry chimneys must be identified with a very specific label. The fasteners that are used in these connections for the ductwork must not penetrate the inner wall for double wall gas vents, except at some transitions. In Chapter 9, Installation of Specific Appliances, there's a new section, that's 902.14. This should be rather straightforward and obvious when you read what it says. Where the gas supply pressure is higher than or varies beyond the rating for the gas appliance being served, a gas pressure regulator must be installed. This should be rather obvious. In Chapter 11, dealing with refrigeration, this refrigerant in 1106.2, the refrigerant room requirements have been expanded, but it is worth noting that these are rare for DSA projects. And with regards to some of the abbreviations here, let me come back. Refrigerant machinery rooms, general requirements. These dedicated rooms are not typical for DSA projects, and when encountered may involve additional specialized topics significantly amended for the 2019 as follows. There's requirements that address access, openings, detectors and alarm, refrigerant detectors, ventilation, mechanical and emergency ventilation. For the refrigerant machinery room, there's also special requirements, and this topic also contains significant amendments for 2019 as follows. There's the flame-producing device considerations, doors, walls, floors and ceilings, exterior openings, ceiling, ventilation, detectors, and remote control provisions. For Chapter 12, dealing with hydronics, 1205.2 has some pressure testing requirements, and there's an exception now. That's a new element in the 2019 codes. The air may be used for pressure testing various PE, PEX, and PP piping systems where specifically permitted by the manufacturer's installation instructions for each. So therefore, this air testing for some plastic supply lines is permitted under certain circumstances now. In the next section, 1205.3, cooling system require flushing as well, and that's noted here by the addition of and cooling sources. So heating and cooling sources and their piping system must be flushed after installation with water cleaning solution in accordance with the manufacturer's installation instructions.